Place over here under the clock. Move along. There's just one thing I've forgotten. What have you forgotten? Where is he? He's over there. He's behind you.
He's behind you.
Don't take his heart. Not his heart. Right. Who'd like a lovely glass of Thames water? Yeah. Who'd like a glass of water? Who'd like a lovely glass of water? It's crystal clear. There, your heart. Come on. Hooray! Hooray! Right. Well, and I've got some property to offer you. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Oh, you won't run, I know. You very.
Let's try making that bread again. First, seeds. Come and gather over here, soil, a little bit of water, and a bit of sun if we're lucky. Now we've got the wheat. All we need is to make bread. And to make bread, we need flour. So let's make flour. Hey! Water. Yeah. Give it a big stir. And then, when I flick my magic wand, we have bread! It's mine! No, you can't have this bread. This bread is for everyone! The march is about to start.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll let you know where we are. Pardon? Yeah, all right then. Okay, fine. Chip?
Here, Tony, come on. Other people are standing in the road there.
Or turbulent. Stop people here.
It wasn't and I used to be the
Pressing to get it all in there.
we go a little bit?
Let's have some Suffolk rain. Norfolk rain, Suffolk rain. Yeah, that's good.
This is a new reign. This is a reign of reason. It's beans, carrots, and parsnips.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
They were eating and
They're growing. They're growing.
I'll stay here.
It's already, because it's been outside, so it's already starting to sort of grow mosses and so on. And it was just worth a mention.
Yeah, so
Well, what's this green stuff? It's the beginning of sort of lichens and I think it's about there.
Oh, right.
and doing plant spaces.
I have so I suppose it's going to be fixed to the churchyard, Walton Churchyard, I believe.
Oh, is it Walton? Oh, a fantastic idea.
But whether that's a permanent site, well, I presume it, yeah.
Well, that's one of the...
If you do that again, I'll take your reg number and report you for an offence.
A457XMR.
Why are you living in the road?
We're walking down this. It's a
Just wait a minute, it won't hurt you.
It'd be quicker to go round.
People were here before cars.
It's a procession. It's a celebration of the 350 years of the diggers. Pardon?
There you are, you've got a limit of education, man, haven't you? Yeah, I've also got a right to...
And there's press all around you.
It's going to refer to that ban if it's not
Okay, what are you doing? Let me know what you're doing.
It's a celebration of 350 years after the diggers.
You're staying with the people, yeah?
just on the corner
It's the only one we know. It's short and simple.
It's on there.
Look, Dad, these eating animals rushes over to say hello, and they have to like point over to
Right, don't give him a chance.
Wait for a meeting, I'm going, alright?
You wait till the march has passed. You wait till the march has passed. People are a little more valuable than that, lad.
Alright.
Now we'll have a constable here if you don't sort it out.
Don't touch the motor then, alright? Don't touch the motor then.
Okay.
See? Better than cars, you know. Trash the cars, you know. Reutilise the parts, so. Who needs cars? We can have flowers, they're prettier.
Should restrain out in the road a bit more than I would have liked.
Well, yes, I've been doing my best about that. But, I think it's better now, actually. Than it was.
Hello. Just follow the road around, and you'll see some fencing. There's some string, yeah? Right. If you go to the left of that, you've got the use of the whole of the place over there.
Tremendous.
Okay.
Thanks so much. It's lovely. All right. Thank you.
I was trying to ring you.
Okay.
Use it for what?
For what you're going to do this afternoon. Okay.
What are we doing?
Go on. That's good. Yeah, come on.
We've come to build houses and stuff.
Oh my god!
I see. This is great. This is great.
So we stick this.
Anybody think they've been hanging out in
There's a small PA coming in a minute, so we don't have to shout. As far as we know, this is the place that the diggers had their meetings. Just a couple of 100 yards over that way is where their settlements were. But this was their meeting place. We're just waiting for a little PA, so we'll be about 10 minutes.
Where's the flat cap gone?
two people right at the back. That probably is really good. Grab a third person. Go on then. Do you want to take your coat? We're going to lift the whole thing up. First thing, you want to push the stone down so it's down there. Just carefully. Alright, okay. It's going to be quite pushy. Okay. Ready? To me.
This is how they load marble in Ferrari.
Okay, you can take the cart away.
Yes!
Can we get some pleasure of digging the
Come
hole?
on, that spade. Who's the spade here? Give us the spade. Sorry, dig it in.
Sorry. Is this the actual planting?
No, we're not planting the stone because they won't let us.
No, you want to dig farther back.
And if we do it, they'll just get trashed. We haven't given up on this. I'll explain in a minute.
Can I say when you stand using here
Yes.
while you're doing it?
Yeah. If you don't need a PA, there's a PA coming in a minute.
And here I end, having put my arm as far as my strength will go to advance righteousness. I have writ, I have acted, and I have peace. Now I must wait to see the Spirit do its work, and whether England shall be the first land, or some others, wherein truth shall sit down in triumph. Let truth sit down in triumph!
Want to sing or rant or anything? The PA is coming in a minute. Yes, come on then. I can't sing. Who's going to kick it off for us?
Oh no. I only live round the corner, son.
They were the dispossessed and claiming what was theirs. We three pieces that dancing and soul. We come to work the land and government to make the wasteland grow. This earth divided, we will make whole. So it will be a common treasury for all. The sin of property, we do disclaim. No man has any right to buy and sell the earth for private gain. By theft and murder, they take the land. Not beware the wolves rise up at their command. They make the laws to chain us well. The clergy suffer us, we have and all they damn us into hell. We will not worship the God they serve, a God of greed who feeds the ritual poor style. We work, we together, we need no swords. We will not fight the fickle masters of rent to the Lord. No, we are free if we are poor. You tickets will stand up for glory, stand up now. When the men of property, the orders came, they sent their hired men and cheapest to wipe out the biggest claim. Sit down in their cottages, destroy their core. They were dispersed, but their vision will not die. You forsake courage, your rich take care. The earth was made of common treasury for everyone to share. All things in common, all people one. We come in peace, you're a shame that cut us down. We come in peace and we come back!
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So.
You're going to say something else, are you?
No, he's doing this for a write-up, so he's just taking down the quotes from Winstanley that I've been reading
Oh, I
all the
see.
way along.
Oh, right, okay.
But that's a jolly good quote.
I'll put it on the back. Yeah, right, on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is out of the ecologist in 96. There's a whole lot.
Yeah, try it out. What are they bringing from there? What is it?
Wonderful commemorative stone here, made by Andrew, who's somewhere or other. We're not going to be putting up today. Because the Residents Association and the Golf Club say we can't. If we do it anyway, it'll probably get trashed.
Well, we've done it, haven't we?
We trash your houses.
What's going to happen with the stone is tonight it's going to the parish of West Horsley, which was the parish of Parson Platt. Who doesn't know who Parson Platt was? Parson Platt was the person that organised the attacks on the diggers. He was their chief opponent. And temporarily, this stone is going to be in his parish. That'll get the bastard turning in his grave, yes. Now, we're not giving up with putting this stone on St George's Hill, because as soon as we finish this, we're going to be hassling the golf club and the Residents Association to donate land for this stone to be put near the road just down there where everyone can see it. And we will be coming back and back and back until this just near Weybridge Station up there. Or you can see it for free twice a day on video in Walton Weybridge Library until until the 10th. Yes, Elmbridge Museum in Weybridge. The Winstanley film is shown twice a day on video. Or next Friday the 9th, it's shown in brilliant 35mm at Brooklands Technical College. And Andrew, another Andrew over there, can give you tickets for that.
Just
Sell
come
you tickets
anyway.
for that.
Just come anyway. Yeah.
Now, Miles wants to do some readings from Winstanley.
There are a couple here that I've just been presented, and so I may not read them very well. First, he was a most passionate believer in some sort of being that was around within people. Right!
Project.
Guided by the everlasting Spirit, the Prince of Peace, to walk in the paths of righteousness, not daring to venture upon any acts of injustice, but endeavoring to do unto all as they would have done unto them, having joy in themselves, knit together and united in one spirit of glory and truth, love to their fellow creatures, contentation with food and payment and raiment, showing much humility and meekness of spirit. And somebody has clipped off the bottom so you don't get that. That the earth was not made purposely for you to be lords of it, and we to be your slaves, servants and beggars, but it was made to be a common livelihood to all, without respect of persons. This is my favorite. Was the earth made to preserve a few covetous, proud men to live at ease, and for them to bag and burn up the treasures of the earth from others? that these may beg or starve in a fruitful land, or was it made to preserve all her children? Absolutely wonderful words.
Yes. And still alive.
And still alive.
I've got one here, which was addressed to the government in 1649, but it might be the government now. O thou powers of England, though thou hast promised to make this people a free people, yet thou hast so handled the matter through thy self-seeking humour that thou hast wrapped us up more in bondage, and oppression lies heavier upon us, confounding all sorts of people by thy government of doing and undoing. Anybody else for a rant or a song? I think we're getting the PA, a clean signal on the PA shortly. If people want to wait for that, you can. Anybody who's got a big voice.
We all deliver it.
Should we move this?
We have declared our reasons why we have begun to assemble upon George Hill in Surrey. One thing I must tell you more. Break in pieces quickly the band of particular property. Disown this oppressing murder, oppression and thievery of buying and selling of land, owning of landlords and paying of rents, and give thy free consent to make the earth a common treasury without grumbling. All may enjoy the benefit of their creation. And hereby thou wilt honour thy father and thy mother. Thy father, which is the spirit of community, that made all and that dwells in all. Thy mother, which is the earth that brought us all forth. That as a true mother loves all her children. Therefore do not hinder the mother earth from giving all her children suck, by thy enclosing into particular hands, and holding up that cursed bondage of enclosure by thy power. Here's another one. We are made to hold forth this declaration to you that are the great council of the land of Elmbridge, well, somewhere, that you may know what we would have and what you are bound to give us by your covenants and promises, and that you may join us in this work and so find peace. Or else, if you do oppose us, we have peace in our work, and in declaring this report, and you shall be left without excuse.
Yep. This is a quote from the Diggers at the back of it. Ye the great ones of this earth, the powers of this world. Picture of St George's Hills these days. Woo! Your first estate was innocency and equality with your fellow creatures, but your lordly power over them, both persons and consciences, your proud fleshly imaginations, lofty thoughts of yourselves, are the fruits of darkness which you are kept under. The whole creation groaneth and is in bondage, even until now, waiting for deliverance. And that's not by Gerard Winstanley, that's from John Taylor, somebody else, John Smith, in the introduction. This is a cartoon book of tree protesting, which I've written and published. I'm not making any money from, potentially. And it's a story of environmental protest in this world, in this country, and it's got a 6-page section in the back on the Diggers. This is the scene where we're now standing, and this is them getting their houses ripped down. And then this is the scene we have nowadays on St George's Hills. It's close to my heart because I grew up about a mile and a half away, and I haven't got any to sell, but I've got leaflets about them. I'd really like it if people are interested, if they get one off me. It's a leaflet.
London, nay England, look to thy freedom. I'll assure thee thou art very near to be cheated of it.
And if thou lose it now, after all thy boasting, truly thy posterity will curse thee for thy unfaithfulness to them. Everyone talks of freedom, but there are but few that act for freedom, and the actors for freedom are oppressed by the talkers and verbal professors of freedom. If thou wouldst know what true freedom is, read over this and my other writings, and thou shalt see it lies in the community in spirit and community in the earthly treasury.
Is Andrew about? Where's Andrew? Which one? Who's going, Andrew? Andrew?
What donations bucket was here?
Distribution between the two takes place at all. It's got another purpose, which is to oversee one of our most fundamental rights, the right to free movement, the right to roam. All sounds great. But the head of this new agency is none other than the previous president of the Country Landowners Association. A man called Ewan Cameron, who's qualified for his role as making sure there's no more social exclusion and making sure that we have a right to roam, by the fact that he owns several thousand acres of Somerset and a very nice house in London. And the fact that throughout his entire time running the Country Landowners Association, he tried to prevent the likes of us, the great unwashed, from entering the countryside. The third thing that happened on April the 1st, 1999, 3 days ago, was that something came due called anti-social behaviour orders. And they came into law. They are now part of British legal statutes and can be invoked at any time. Now, these anti-social behaviour orders ostensibly are to prevent things like vandalism and bullying and stuff like that. And they allow the police to stop anyone who they consider is either harassing, alarming or distressing anyone else, or is likely to do so. And they can take them to court and get an injunction against them to prevent them from repeating the potential harassment, distress or alarm to anyone else for the next 2 years on pain of a 5-year jail sentence. I phoned the Home Office and said, couldn't this be used against protesters? And they said, no, of course, absolutely not. And I said, well, what's to prevent it? I said, well, in theory it could be used against protesters. I said, it's a perfect tool for clamping down and stopping protest. And they said, oh, I'm sure you'll find the police won't invoke it. Which is precisely what they said about the anti-stalking legislation, which was brought in 1997. Well, all this adds up to, of course, the three things that happened in April the 1st, 1999, is that the things that Gerard Winstanley and the Diggers stood for 350 years ago are still here and need to be fought 350 years later. The issues which they highlighted and the issues they fought against, the enclosure, the taking over of everything, the turning into private property, that which belonged to all of us, is going on as vigorously as ever before. We have right now Monsanto, for example, trying to prosecute a bunch of genetic snowball campaigners under a statute called Trespass Against Goods, dating from the 17th century. We have the same legislative framework which protects property above all things, the individual scarcely at all, and society absolute zero. We have that same legislative framework which tied up and tied down the Diggers in 1649. But this time we're on top. The Diggers came along towards the end of the great social movement. We're here at the beginning. And this time we can turn things round. It's already happening. Just 10 minutes ago I was showing a cutting from the Wandsworth Borough News showing that the site, the Guinness site, Gargoyle Wharf site in Wandsworth, which we, the Landisars, occupied 3 years ago. The big developers, Rialto Homes, who are going to turn it into one of the most exclusive housing estates in Britain, with a moat between those exclusive homes and the affordable homes on the other side of the road, and a police station on site that, thanks to popular pressure, political pressure, Rialto Homes have now pulled out. And there's now a chance once more that that land can become land belonging to the community. Land belonging to the common weal, as opposed to the private weal. Time and again, we can win these things. We're pushing back the superstores, we're pushing back the biotech industry, we've already almost killed, in most parts of the country, the road building programme. The things which just a few years ago looked impregnable. That massive complex, a political, industrial, big business complex, is already beginning to crumble. And as Gerard Winstanley said, he's left it to the hearts of others to see his vision realised in this land. We're doing it.
Tied up with the Stonehenge situation. After a bit of reading, I realised that I was part of a continuum from back in the 16th or 17th century when these ideas were first had. People trying to sort out their own lives without reference to the powers. Well, that was until the Battle of the Beanfield, where they came along and hit me with a stick. Well, I'm not very pleased about that. Over time, my lifestyle and who I was has been generally suppressed by the powers that be, and it's only in recent times, past the Criminal Justice Act, that people have started to realise that it is possible to stand up to these things, as George has told you. It's only a month ago now that in the House of Lords, quite an important decision was arrived at as a result of a number of people being arrested at Stonehenge, being a group of more than 20 people on the highway without threat of violence or danger or anything else, who reckoned that was a criminal offence, just to be 20 people on the road when the state doesn't want it. It's now happened that as a result of the various decisions being upheld and overturned, that the House of Lords now state, and it's written down for the first time in English society, that British subjects, not citizens, have the right to pass and repass the highway in groups of whatever numbers you like, and furthermore to do whatever they like so long as they don't obstruct or create a nuisance. Now the thing is, that doesn't mean to say that you can have free festivals, rave, protest or anything else, but I know bloody well that we're not going to get any of those things until we can get more than 20 people on a road in the first place. That's now been overturned, and I hope this summer, whatever you're into, you'll start to assemble with others and not be intimidated by the bastards, and keep it up, eh?
More money! Hang on, wait a minute!
All right, yes. Another announcement. The last event commemorating the diggers takes place next weekend, and that's a conference which Andrew, who's drifting around here somewhere, has organised, called Hearts and Spades. It'll be on Friday the 9th at Brooklands Technical College, just near Weybridge Station over there, and will include a showing of the film Winstanley. And on Saturday the 10th it will be in Walton Church, the church where we began today and where the diggers were imprisoned. That's the church where they got a great burden of thorns and briars and stuffed it in the pulpit to stop out the parson. And they occupied that church on the day they began the digging here to announce the 1st of April 1649. They occupied the church to announce the beginning of the digging on George Hill. Fortunately, the parson there today is of a different tenor, and they won't be using the church for locking us up anymore. Honest.
Noble diggers all stand up now, stand up now. You noble diggers all stand up now. Your wastelands to maintain, seeing cavaliers by name. Your digging do disdain, and your persons all defame. Stand up now, diggers all, your houses they pull down. Stand up now, stand up now, your houses they pull down. Stand up now. Your houses they pull down to fright poor men in town, but the gentry must come down and the poor shall wear the crown. Stand up now, diggers all, with spades and hoes and ploughs. Stand up now, with spades and hoes and ploughs. Stand up now. Your freedom to uphold, seeing cavaliers are bold, to kill you if they could, and rights from you withhold. Stand up now, diggers all, their self-will is their law. Stand up now, their self-will is their law. Stand up now. Since tyranny came in, they counted out no sin, to make a jail a gin, and to starve poor folk therein. Stand up now, diggers all, the clergy they come in. Stand up now, the clergy they come in. Stand up now. The clergy they come in and say it is a sin that we should now begin our freedom for to win. Stand up now, diggers all, the lawyers they conjoin. Stand up now, the lawyers they conjoin. Stand up now. To arrest you they advise, such fury they devise, but the devil in them lies, and hath blinded both their eyes. Stand up now, diggers all, gainst lawyers and gainst priests. Stand up now, gainst lawyers and gainst priests. Stand up now. For tyrants are they both, even flat against their oath, to grant us they are loath free meat and drink and cloth. Stand up now, diggers all, the club is all their law. Stand up now, the club is all their law. Stand up now. The club is all their law, to keep poor folk in awe, but they no vision saw to maintain such a law. Glory now, diggers all.
Leon, that's absolutely brilliant.
That we discovered that was told to the campaign while we were thinking about today was that there actually was a donation in 1952 by one of the generous people who lived on St George's Hill of quite a large slice of land to the local authority, to Elbridge Council. This piece of land, it seems, by the council completely refused to let the public know that there was this piece of land that they had any kind of access to. And when the people donated it to the local council, they also had a public footpath on it. It's actually on the site of the Iron Age hill fort. I don't know if any of you've got maps with you. Most of you should have maps, but if you have a look at your maps now, you'll see there's an Iron Age hill fort on there, which when the hill was originally developed back in about in the 1920s, the guy who developed it virtually ignored this hill fort and bulldozed large parts of it. The remaining rampart section was donated in the 50s to the local council with a public footpath that the council have totally neglected to let anyone know that there's public access to. Now, since we're all up here today, it would seem to me, and one of the things I know with footpaths is that unless people walk along those paths regularly, those footpaths can be extinguished. That since you've all got maps there, and if all of you can see whereabouts this footpath is, that those of you that have got a little bit of energy still and would like a wander, we go over there right now and take a walk on this piece of public land. Also to draw attention to it for local people, because when we arrived on the estate about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we asked the security guards, is there any public land? And they said, oh no public land up here. But now we know about it, I think it'd be a really nice opportunity to go up there and take a look at it and exercise our right to walk along that public right of way in case it gets extinguished. So it's over here somewhere. So those of you that have still got a little bit of energy left, maybe we could go and take a walk over there now.
I think you need to talk to the owners because you are actually moving across private land. Can you stop for a minute, please?
Tend to go up to the pub. We're just going up to the.
Stop for a minute. I have no jurisdiction apart from maybe a brief to the police. I'm asking you just to stop for a minute, okay?
I'm sorry, we can't do that. We're going to the public footpath. We're going to a public footpath.
The council have been keeping quiet. You can only go on there with the permission of the Elbridge Council.
You are going past?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They own it. It's a public footpath, that's the whole point. Far from it. Outrageous. It's quite legal to fire guns. With this, we'd started
Our land you're standing on.
It's got to get out. Round table.
I don't remember if it's good for the memory or not.
Father and baby Cody.
Really?
Yeah.
Cody Lincoln.
Otter! Otter! Otter!
It's so cold.
Like the jungle, is like it.
You videoed me.
Fancy castle. Careful there.
Oh, prime broadcast. Clear away, man up, man up.
It's just that stall. When we were first coming up here, the stall in the churchyard. They go, what are they going to do on the hill then? It's like, well, I could see some people with tents.
Right, we're not that far.
Have you got that?
Yeah, it's on the same line as Walking on Thames.
We've got several dwellings and compost toilets and all that kind of stuff. We're staying.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Do you want to smile?
And if you're happy.
Oh, I'm very happy, yeah. So people can get by.
What about human chain?
Can you shout out and get more people over here?
chain. Let's chain it. Everything. Watch out, watch out. Look.
That's heavy.
Right, let's get past it.
I can't believe it, they got that one. Slide door. Oh, mind your own. We've got the big basket coming.
What's that, a broom? Oh no.
Oh, it's a big there.
Not thick.
The police are here.
What is that? Does somebody explain?
That's I don't know, but everyone's got to do something special with it.
Yeah, it's kind of... No, I won't. It's too obvious.
Excuse me, divers. Excuse me.
Otter! Otter, come here. Come here, lie down. Otter!
Good job. Hey, what is that?
Can we just add a bit more to the line here to get...
Head! Human head! Who's had their head chopped off?
Really trying to come and give us some intelligence.
Private property, mate.
Yeah, I'm just leaning on the fence, mate. Oh my god.
Looks quite good, doesn't it? Really. It's going to go really well down your sail. You tell Colin Montgomery to play down here and you tell him I'm here, he's not going to come there.
Oh, he'll come
You
down.
dig it now, he's not. He'll have a little phone call.
Completely outnumbered and useless.
Yeah, that's it. There's more of us than you. Sorry,
That's
mate.
right. That's
Sorry.
right. That's right.
That's absolutely fucking right.
That's 100% right.
Right.
100% right.
That's always been the case right from the start, isn't it?
Yeah,
What,
really.
what about land?
Untrue.
The first time I walked on this estate, I felt completely alienated.
Considerably more of us. Yeah. What? What? Yes. No. No. Wow. What is that, like one of these, yeah?
But we're not allowed in anyway.
Well, you've got to stand there and pretend you're one of these.
Stop it now, come on.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? About a metal that goes from the top to the bottom. What are you talking about?
We were barred before we even got here.
Pause?
We're going to stop you at the gates, obviously.
No, you're not. I'm not going to come after the gates.
I'll have my money back, but you ain't getting banging.
No.
He's the one with all the now.
He is.
We didn't tell you exactly what we were doing. We didn't tell you exactly what we
It's got to be one of you.
No. Your people, your group we're talking about. I mean, we know who's in charge.
Yeah, he's in charge.
It's just that we want to have a wander on.
He's in charge.
We want to have a walk on the land.
Are they allowed on? Are they allowed on? Sorry.
Party invites only, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So we're in legal occupation in this land. And
Nobody with a tie.
yeah, but we're making the lot let you in.
So
But if you invite me, I can come on, can I?
Yeah, but
And if you take your cups and then
You've got to be doing the same as these people, don't you?
No, you've got to be a bit nicer.
Freedom for everybody.
Bar us.
Okay, can I come on the land, Jen? I'll wander around.
Is that right?
Nice, Mr. Nice Guy.
well, you're doing exactly the same what you're
No, we're not. We're not actually, are we? We're a community.
doing. You understand?
I think the first bit I don't understand.
Right.
You're saying definitely no, even though we're asking you to just have a
Definitely
wander
no.
around.
Definitely
Do we
no.
have a big vote on that?
There you go then.
Or a little vote?
I'll go have a word.
So,
Yeah, gonna have a chat.
before you do, why is there a problem with us coming on and having a look? What do you think we're going to
It
do?
was just a response from this man here, basically. He started telling us he was going to bar us from the thing and not let us walk in the entrances. And
I'm not him, and I'm asking you nicely. Can I come on and have a look,
No,
please?
we're just going to refer. I'll go and ask at the community, shall I?
Okay, yeah.
Well, I don't mind, but I would very much like the opportunity.
It's not my place, is it?
Well, look, it's not mine either, but I'd love. If it's money you're after, you're wasting your time, guys. I've got a bean. Thank you.
Why don't you do that, mate?
Let's go. I'll give you the guided tour.
Hello.
Is that right? Yeah. Are you suggesting I'm fat?
No, we're just suggesting you couldn't get over the fence. Rules of the countryside, that is. The hinge end of the gate you go over.
Be careful though, Jack, yeah?
What's it all for?
Thank you very much, folks.
Have a lovely day.
Anyway, wait for the yellow.
See you later.
No, just because they've got to see what we're doing.